Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, where we blend casual conversations with insightful discussions on the latest in technology and gadgets.
Hey, everyone.
Ever feel like you blink and suddenly the tech world has completely flipped?
Happens all the time.
Well, you're not alone. Today, we're taking a quick but deep dive into a few things that caught our eye, from potential savings on that gadget you've been eyeing,
Always nice.
to AI that's about to change how you unwind with Netflix, and even how you might be building your own apps, like sooner than you think.
Yeah,
Think of this as your cheat sheet to staying in the loop.
exactly. We've got a really interesting snapshot of where things are heading, the kind of stuff that might actually affect what ends up in your shopping cart or on your phone in the coming months.
Right.
Tariffs, streaming, and a whole lot of AI magic that's all kind of connected in ways you might not immediately realize.
Okay, let's kick things off with something that could save you a few bucks, well, at least for now. It sounds like there was a bit of a surprise on Friday regarding tariffs on imported tech like smartphones and laptops. The U.S. decided to give them a temporary pass.
Yeah, that's right. For you, the consumer, it might mean you see slightly lower prices on some imported devices, but definitely in the short term.
Short term, okay.
This announcement on Friday essentially pressed pause on those import taxes for certain gadgets.
Short term being the key words there, right? Because I saw Commerce Secretary Lutnick mentioned on Sunday that this relief might only stick around for, what, a month or two?
That's right. Yeah, blink and you'll miss it, potentially.
So why the short time frame?
Well, think of this temporary exemption as a bit of breathing room. The U.S. government is trying to figure out its long-term strategy for tariffs, specifically targeting the semiconductor industry.
Ah, the chips.
Exactly. The crucial chips inside pretty much all our electronics. So this isn't really a change of heart on tariffs overall. It's more like a temporary holding pattern while they sort that out.
Okay, so if you're thinking this is your moment for a major tech upgrade based on big savings, you might want to keep that 1 or 2 month window really firmly in mind.
Definitely.
It sounds like the bigger picture is still evolving, especially with President Trump hinting on Sunday that new tariffs on those semiconductor chips could be coming sooner in the coming weeks.
Yeah, sooner is not very specific, but it sounds like soon.
Right. That could change everything again pretty quickly.
Precisely. And that's the uncertainty that kind of ripples through the tech industry. Companies are trying to plan production, pricing, all with this potential for new tariffs just looming. It makes you wonder if they'll even fully pass on these temporary savings, knowing things could just shift again so quickly.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's almost like needing a tech market weather forecast these days.
Pretty much.
Okay, moving on to something a little less about government policies and maybe more about our weekend binge watching.
Okay. Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix is apparently experimenting with a new way for you to find something to watch, and it involves AI, specifically the brains behind ChatGPT.
Oh, interesting.
How's that going to change our, what should we watch debates?
Well, imagine being able to tell Netflix not just like, I want a comedy, but I want a quirky, feel-good comedy to watch after a long week.
Okay, yeah.
That's the kind of specificity this new AI-powered search engine is aiming for. It's powered by OpenAI's tech, and it lets you use much more natural, detailed language. You can even include your mood.
Your mood. Seriously. So instead of endlessly scrolling through categories, you could just type in exactly what kind of vibe you're going for.
That's the idea.
That sounds like a game changer for those of us who spend more time deciding what to watch than actually watching.
Tell me about it.
So where are they testing this mind-reading movie search?
Right now, it's kind of limited. It's in the hands of some users in Australia and New Zealand, and only on iOS devices for now. But the plan is to roll this test out to the U.S. and other countries pretty soon, so, you might be seeing this feature pop up on your Netflix app before too long.
I can already see this saving countless arguments on the couch.
Ah.
So instead of my usual vague request for something good, I could be super specific.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder if this will also lead to even more personalized recommendations down the line, truly understanding our individual tastes better.
Absolutely. It's all about making content discovery more intuitive, right? Think about how often you've had a specific craving for a certain type of movie or show, but just couldn't quite find the right keywords.
All the time.
This AI could be the key to unlocking those hidden gems and just giving you a more satisfying streaming experience overall.
Interesting. Okay, now let's talk about the Wild West of AI model development. It feels like every week there's a new announcement.
It really does.
And this one from OpenAI has me a little confused. They released a GPT 4.1 focused on coding, which sounds cool. But what's the story with GPT 4.5? Feels like we're skipping numbers or going backwards here.
Yeah, it does seem a bit out of sequence, doesn't it? So OpenAI did launch GPT 4.5 back in February, and they were touting it as their biggest AI model yet.
Right, I remember that.
But yeah, in a rather swished move, they've announced they're actually phasing it out from their API.
Phasing it out, wait a second. It was their biggest model, launched just, what, a couple of months ago, and now it's being retired.
Yeah.
That's a pretty rapid turnover, even for the fast-paced world of AI.
It really is. So if you're a developer who is just getting familiar with GPT 4.5, well, you've got a limited window.
Okay.
GPT 4.5 will only be available through the API until July 14th.
July 14th, got it.
And OpenAI is now recommending that developers switch over to this newly launched GPT 4.1 as the replacement. Apparently, this new model is specifically optimized for coding tasks.
So the biggest isn't necessarily the best, or maybe not the most efficient for every specific use case, it seems.
Seems that way.
It makes you wonder about the strategic thinking here. Maybe GPT 4.1 offers a better balance of, I don't know, speed and efficiency for coding, even if 4.5 had broader capabilities.
Could be. It really highlights how quickly these AI capabilities are evolving and being refined for specific applications. The underlying tech, the training, it's all constantly being improved.
Yeah.
It's just a very dynamic field. Companies like OpenAI are continually iterating, adjusting their offerings as they learn more about what works best for different tasks.
It's definitely a reminder that what's cutting edge today might be, well, old news pretty quickly.
Exactly. Superseded faster than you can keep up sometimes.
All right, last on our quick tech tour today is something that could empower, well, pretty much anyone to become a software creator, even if you've never written a line of code.
Ooh, intriguing.
Google has unveiled a new app called Firebase Studio, and they're calling its approach vibe coding.
Vibe coding. Okay, I like the sound of that.
Right. I'm intrigued, what exactly is vibe coding, and how can it help you build an app?
So vibe coding is essentially using AI to translate your ideas, maybe described in plain language, or even like sketched out visually into working applications. Google's Firebase Studio acts as an AI assistant for this. Think of it like having an AI co-developer sitting next to you.
An AI that helps you build apps just by describing what you want. So if you've ever had an app idea but got stuck because you didn't know where to start with the actual coding, this could be your entry point.
Precisely. That's the goal. You can tell Firebase Studio what you want your app to do, like create a simple app to track my daily water intake with reminder notifications. Simple prompts.
Okay.
Or, yeah, you could even provide a rough visual sketch of the app's layout. The tool then uses Google's Gemini AI model to generate a functional prototype based on your input. And it leverages Google's Firebase platform, which is their whole system for building and hosting apps, to handle a lot of the technical stuff behind the scenes.
That sounds incredibly user-friendly.
Yeah.
But can this AI-generated app actually do anything complex? Or is it just like a pretty front end?
No, it can actually do quite a bit. And this is where Google's GenKit framework comes into play.
GenKit?
Yeah, think of GenKit as the key that allows these AI-generated apps to also use AI internally in powerful ways.
Ah, so AI building apps with AI inside them.
Exactly. It makes it easy to integrate different AI models for various functions and even chain them together into complex workflows.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, so you could have an app that uses one AI model to analyze a photo you take, right? Then it uses another AI model to suggest recipes based on what's in the image.
Cool.
And then maybe uses a third AI to generate a shopping list from that recipe, all chained together.
That's actually a pretty sophisticated chain reaction.
Hmm.
So someone with a great idea but zero coding skills could potentially create a surprisingly capable app using these tools.
That's the core idea. It really feels like this lowers the barrier significantly.
Yeah, democratizes software development, puts the power to create into the hands of way more people.
Definitely. Google, with its AI expertise and all its existing developer tools, is making a significant move here. It'll be fascinating to see what kinds of innovative apps emerge from this new accessibility.
It certainly makes you think about the future of software and who will be creating it. Well, this has been a whirlwind tour through some really interesting corners of the tech world today.
It really has. From the fluctuating world of tariffs to the, ever-evolving landscape of AI, it's clear things are moving incredibly fast.
Yeah.
And what's interesting for you, the listener, is how these seemingly separate developments, government policy, entertainment, software creation, they're all being impacted and in some cases really driven by advancements in artificial intelligence.
Definitely gives you some to think about as you go about your week. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
My pleasure. Always fun to chat about this stuff.
Thanks for tuning in to Byte-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed this deep dive, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech discussions.